Hello, my name's Gary Lee. I'm a geologist at the Pacific community based in Fiji. I'm going to briefly talk about some of the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years, looking at establishing the first geoparks in the Pacific region. So this really started during COVID-19, which had devastating impacts in the Pacific region. The tourism sector is one of the largest sectors in the region, and a lot of people in the Pacific depend on it for their livelihoods. And they were really going for a difficult time during the COVID-19 lockdowns. So we thought, part of our role as regional organizations is to support our member countries when they're going through difficult times. So we're thinking, how can we support the situation from a geology perspective? And we actually saw a post on LinkedIn, funnily enough, where it was from UNESCO looking at geoparks. And so we started looking into geoparks and looking, what is a geopark? Could this be something to look into? And as we learned more about it, we thought, wow, this is really strongly aligned with some of the objectives of the region. So we started discussing with our sister organization, the Pacific Tourism Organization. They have a mandate to support the countries in the Pacific in the tourism sector. And one of the key strategies for the tourism sector is to look at diversification. As tourists typically think of the region as sun, sand, and sea, sitting on the beach under a palm tree, having a cocktail, which is an important staple for the region, but the region has a lot more to offer than that in terms of natural heritage and cultural heritage. And they need to look at strategies to really celebrate that heritage. So we thought, wow, geoparks really could be an important tool to support that diversification. So yeah, we called Oslam from UNESCO in Paris, and she was really enthusiastic and supportive from the start. She helped us with a lot of information so we can improve our understanding of geoparks and with connections as well. And we managed to prepare a proposal, and we got some seed funding from the New Zealand government, which was used to do feasibility work, really look at what geoparks could look like in some of these locations. So we've focused initially in 4 of our member countries. This is in Tuvalu, Samoa, Vanuatu, and Fiji. And how this worked is it was really led by the local stakeholders in those countries. So the geology colleagues from the government departments, the tourism colleagues, and the cultural colleagues. And what they did is they really went out and did field work and consultations and produced reports or feasibility reports looking at what geoparks could look like in these particular locations to inform any future work. And we've also had some support from other partners, the Australian Volunteers Initiative, which managed to get some lawyers to look into the potential legal dimensions of establishing geoparks in the region. So we're very thankful for that. And out of this work, there's been several successes to date. One of the major ones was last year at the Sustainable Tourism Leadership Summit in Tahiti. The tourism leaders in the region have endorsed and recognized geoparks as a key strategy to support the sustainable development of the tourism sector in the Pacific. So we think that's really important, and it's very bright for the future. But one of the major milestones that's been achieved to date is 3 sites have been designated as IUGS Geological Heritage Sites. This is the site behind me here. This is Yasoa Volcano in Vanuatu, which is the lighthouse of the Pacific. I think you can see why from the image. And Funafuti Atoll in Tuvalu, which is the first place where Charles Darwin's theory of atoll formation was tested. And then on Savai'i Island in Samoa, the Matavanu eruption site, which is one of the best examples of a hotspot eruption in the world. So these sites have been designated by IUGS as geological heritage sites. So that's a key stepping stone towards eventually perhaps being designated as geoparks. Now they have geological heritage of international significance, and we hope that more sites in the Pacific are going to follow suit. So we think the work that's happened to date has really laid the foundation for geoparks. But to take it to the next level, it really needs dedicated people and resources that are committed at the local level to actually establish and operate geoparks. And we learned this really through when we at the event where the 3 sites were designated as IUGS Geological Heritage Sites in Zumaya and in Spain. UNESCO supported our attendance there, several geological stakeholders from the Pacific, and supported us to go on training with some of the Spanish geoparks. Notably, we went to the Las Loras Geopark in Spain, where we really had a really in-depth training session from Carmo and Jose, who were managing that geopark and doing an excellent job. And we really could see that they're really dedicated local people that have been putting in the hours and driving that forward, and they've got committed resources to make that happen. And likewise, the tourism stakeholders were supported by UNESCO to do a capacity building at geoparks in Japan. And they've had similar observations. And, you know, we think there's a lot, we've laid the foundations for the geoparks in the Pacific, the first geoparks, but it's going to really need dedicated resources and people to drive it forward and take it to the next level. But we think that the future is bright, and we thank UNESCO for your support to date, and we look forward to further support in the future. Thank you.